the Sotheby's Hall in London, an old violin was being put up for auction. The auctioneer called out, $10 one, $10 two, $10. From the corner of the room, an old man in tattered clothes started gingerly walking towards the podium. He reached, picked up the violin, dusted it, tuned the keys, and held the bow against his strings. And after a while, he played a soul-stirring music, spreading a funeral silence across the hall. For the next 15 minutes, as he finished, he laid back the violin and started walking back to a standing ovation. And that's when the auctioneer reopened the bid. There was a call. $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $20,000, $25,000, and it went for a whopping $50,000. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Many a times in our life, we are like the old violin, crowded with unwanted thoughts of self-doubt, self-pity, and ego. But once we dust ourselves and tune in the virtues of hope, faith, and openness, very soon we start building a positive aura around us, which will help us to boost our self-esteem. But unfortunately, many of the time, we fail to take the first step, thinking this is not the right time. My friends, the right time is at hand, and the right time is NOW, now. If you look into the history of successful people, many of them have taken the first step in the face of most adverse circumstances. You take it for Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, or any other scientist looking at history. They have taken that first step during the time of most crisis. They didn't wait for the right moment. All that they say is, get yourself a dose of self-motivation daily. Because self-motivation is the life and blood of one's living. Now, the question is, why do we need it? Basically, as human in nature, we always compare. The poor compares with the rich, a short man compares with a tall man, a person living in an apartment may compare himself with a villa owner, a lady with a straight hair like Payal might compare with some lady with curly hair. Goes on. And we put ourselves into a shell of depression and we start feeling inferior. But mind you, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. You are a unique creation by the Creator. Nobody was and nobody will be replicated. You are a brand in yourself, and the brand is YOU. Now what happens is, it's in your hand to sow the seeds of failure or have the potential for success. It all depends on how to do it. The next question is, how to do it? It is all a story that comes to my mind is, a little girl named Nina was suffering from a different kind of illness and she started losing her hair. All in all, the time came she had only 3 strands left. But she didn't bother. She just made a pigtail, let it sway in the breeze, and started singing and playing all along. A couple of days later, she lost 2 strands and was landed with one. But she didn't bother. She went on playing with gay abandon. A time came when she had none. That's the time when people asked her, "What now?" She said, "I have more time now. I can sing and play to my heart's content." Because it's a life of choose. Second thing is, why do we, or how do we go about it? This going about becomes a little question. Always know. Remember, what happens is, 80% of the time, we are talking to ourselves. It's only with the self-talk that you will help yourself to feed your mind with positive thoughts. And when you keep on feeding yourself with positive thoughts, what happens is you are in a position to push yourself to do things in normal circumstances you will not be able to do. A story that comes to my mind is about 2 little boys aged 10 and 8. While playing in the woods, accidentally, the elder boy falls into the well. The younger boy cries for help. There was nobody else. All he could see around the well is the wheel with the rope and the bucket at the other end. All that he does is lets the bucket down into the well and asks the boy, "Grab it." And like a boy possessed, he started pulling that rope with all his might. Constant pulling, he was able to get this boy out of this well. Now the news reached the village, and people started wondering, do you think it is possible? A small boy doing so, he can't even lift a bucket of water, a small bucket of water. How did he do it? So the conversation and the discussion ended up with a wise man, Karim Chacha. They went to him and asked him, "Do you also believe that this boy can do it?" He paused for a moment, and after looking at the crowd, and he said, "Yes, I do believe." "You do?" "Yes." It's only because when he cried out for help, there was no human mankind all around. Who could tell him, "You can't"? Remember, whenever you take up a challenge, whenever you embark on a new task, there will be 2 voices telling you, "You can't." The first one is the people around you, and second, a small voice from within lurking, telling you, "You can't. Maybe you can try it later." All you have to do is silence and ignore these voices and take the first step and follow your plan. You will be amazed at the kind of results that you will achieve. Don't stop there. You need to treat yourself. Celebrate the success. Go and share maybe a cup of coffee with your friend. If you don't have anybody, call an enemy. Because a free treat is always open and welcomed by even by an enemy. You are your own cheerleader. You don't need sponsors. Life is not about storms. Life is about standing in the rains. As my friend said, and my mentor, Mr. Vijay, your stickability will prove your ability. Similarly, a young man, maybe not so young, felt very disillusioned in life. He felt success was for those few chosen people who were born with an extra chip